Hi everyone, how are we doing? I'm out and about. It's a lovely evening, beautiful weather, quite cool now. The sun's just going down. It's about 8:15 in the evening and loving it. So out my daily trails. It's beautiful out here. So anyway, excited about two things. Don't know which one I'm more excited about. As I speak to you today, I have 995 subscribers to you guys. Anyone who's new, thank you so much for subbing. I've been a bit slack recently. You've probably seen my videos, been injured, no racing, blah blah blah. Anyway, I'm trying to get back on the YouTube trail, so I shall hit that 1,000. I never believed that I'd ever do it. My kids never believed I'd ever do it. We laughed when I started doing a YouTube channel, so I'm going to really try and grow. That's one of my goals, grow my channel and get it going. So thank you so much to everyone who subscribed, and if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Some good content coming up. Secondly, I think I'm more excited about this, is I'm off to the Lake District on Friday, which is amazing. Going to be doing a race called the Lakes 40. It's run by a company called Nav4 and it looks great. It's a self-navigation race. Going to drive with my little van, going up with well, going up on my own, but meeting some people up there. So we're hopefully going to run together. I'm not going to race it, just going to finish it and complete it. It's obviously 40 miles, Lakes 40. It's over some beautiful, beautiful scenery. The weather is okay as well. It's been raining there now. I'm looking at the forecast for 3 days. So it's clearing up for the weekend. It's fingers crossed, fingers crossed, fingers crossed. So without going on too much about that, because I'm going to take my GoPro and you'll see all of that about that. It's going to be really good. So I'm going to try and, oh yeah, the GoPro 9, I dropped it when I was cycling, probably about 25 miles an hour. Unfortunately, it didn't work, so I'm back on my GoPro 7. So if the footage isn't fantastically brilliant, like it always is, then sorry about that. I'm back on my 7. Anyway, enough about that. So what I plan to do is I'm going to do my kit chat. I'm going to show you what kit I'm taking, and there is a mandatory kit list, of course. A little bit more complicated this time. Well, it isn't complicated, but just a few more things you have to take. So it's a mountain race, so you're going high, higher than, you know, the standard North Downs 50, so you need a few things just to get yourself through the night if you do have a problem. And also I will do that, yes, so I'll do my kit check. Going to hopefully get that done before Thursday, because I'm going to drive up on Friday. Today is Tuesday, so I've got to get on and get that ready. So anyway, here we go. Going to finish off my run, and then we'll talk to you about some kit which I'm going to take to my race. I'll see you in a bit. Right, we're outside today. Would be in the cabin, but I forgot my lights. We're just running out of time now. It's about 9:10 on Wednesday, so I've got all my gear ready. Leaving, I've got work tomorrow, and I'm leaving on Friday early morning, so I've got plenty more time to get organised, but getting all my kit ready now. Wish I'd done it sort of on the weekend, but some of the stuff's just arrived, my nutrition and jacket, things like that. Anyway, it's the Lakes 40. It's a mountain race. There's about 2,500 meters of elevation. It's 40 miles. I've done a GPX route. It is self-navigation, so there's no route markings or anything like that. There are checkpoints, but you're not allowed any support. So yeah, it's a fair old trek. I did lakes in the day probably about 3 or 4 years ago, and that was 50 miles from top to bottom of the Lake District. That took me about 14 hours. I was slightly injured. Similar situations as I am today, but I'm a lot more experienced now and a lot more fitter, I think, than I was then. So I'm looking to do probably around about the 12-hour mark. The weather is looking really good, so probably a little change in my kit. But yeah, so I'll get up there Friday, chill out in the evening, enjoy the evening, and then early start, 6 AM start. It's a rolling start, and off we go. I'll be running with some friends, so you know, it will be a nice social event. We're not racing it, and there's only 60 people in the event, so it's going to be really nice. I'm really looking forward to meet some new people as well, as you do when you go out and do these ultras. Right, my kit. You get given obviously a kit list. There is a mandatory kit list, which is kind of pretty much what I'd take anyway. Being a mountain, the weather can change, although it is looking quite settled. We are in June, it's not like it's October, November, so we're sitting on a high at the moment around the UK. But as you know, if you've ever walked in any of the mountains or run in any of the mountains, once you get higher and higher, the weather can change. So you can have the bottom of Scarfell, you can have beautiful sunny day, and you go up the top and it's blowing a 40-mile-an-hour wind. It is really strange, and it catches a lot of people out. So you've got to be ready for that weather at the top. Wind speed's really important, and we'll see on the day what it is. So you've got to be prepared for everything. So kit I'm taking. I'm going to be running in my EVO Mafate 2s. These are pretty old. The grip on them, I've only done 300 miles. I'm not going to go into the review of them now, but they are falling apart already, and that's not great. And the grip on them isn't fantastic, but they will do. They will absolutely do. It's going to be quite boggy, quite wet. At the beginning, I would have thought they've had some rain over the last couple of days, so I'm looking at trashing whatever shoes I have, and these will do me perfect because they've got some nice cushioning in them as well. Next thing is really important. Made a mistake once when I did mountain race. It was actually the CCC, and I wore low cut socks. Definitely wear crew cut socks. You know, the higher the better. It just stops all the dirt from going actually in the ankle and down. You're going to get a lot of dirt and dust through these anyway, and you get a lot of sharp flinty stones out there. It's very stony ground, but I wear these nice and high. And then look at there's a drop bag at Patterdale, so maybe put a pair of socks in. It says just food, but I'm not sure. Maybe you can get away with a pair of socks, but I'm going to wear these type of socks. There's stance socks. I'm not going to go for Injinji this time. I'm just going to wear my stance and then put some cream on my feet as I do. I use Squirrel's Nuts Butter, and I rub that everywhere. I put it over my feet, I put it on all the chafing points on my body, everything like that. So feet really, really important, as you know. I'm going to be wearing obviously a pair of running shorts. I'll wear a short sleeve Montane vest, nice and breathable, and that will kind of be my kit. Okay, so some of the things I'm going to be running in my Adv Skin 12 Salamon. I really like this, nice and lightweight, nice positions for the bottles, and that will carry. I'm only going to take 2 bottles with me full of water, and I've got a little trick up my sleeve. I bought a Salamon flask with a filter, and this will filter out all the it says it will filter out all the bacteria and keep the water fresh. So if I can find a mountain stream, if I'm running out of water, because there are probably about sort of 12k checkpoints, but you'll be slow moving up the hills and things like that, and if it's warm like it is today, wow, you're going to go through water very quickly. So I've taken one of these as a precaution as well. So I'll have 2 bottles filled, and I'll probably keep that in my backpack. What I do advise on these races, because it's not like you can nip off somewhere when you're on top of the mountains. It's not like I use the North Downs Way because I'm so close to it, nip down the hill and you're on a road. You know, you are quite a long way away. And I always like to take an extra bottle with me. I don't know if I've got one there. Well, yeah. Anyway, I've got 3 bottles just in case you lose the teat on one, you know, one splits or anything like that. You've always got a backup. Very, very important that for me. And even on 100 milers and 50 milers, it's nice to have a backup bottle. So yeah, so I'm going to have plenty of hydration there. Okay, what else have I got? I'm going to run with my naked belt. You probably know those, just wrap around my waist. That's good, nice and handy, get my bits and pieces in, you know, my sort of close to hand nutrition, maybe energy gels. I'm going to take my phone. We'll go into gadgets in a minute. Right, what else have we got here? Okay, obviously you've got, take a cup, use one of these Sea Summit ones, they're really good. I don't like the ones which fall apart, you know, the really thin ones. You can't really get a good grab on these, and you can spill your drinks and stuff like that. These are nice and sturdy, really recommend them, and they go nice and flat packed. Suncream, Tingerlaat, love this stuff. It's quite expensive, but it is the best stuff, and it's really easy to put on when you're running. And taking some hand sanitizer as well, and of course some loo paper. So and in that I have a little bag as well, that's for my rubbish and things like that, so my gels and stuff can go in there. Quite often, you know, you get all the gel stuff, and it all goes in your pockets. By the end of it, you're a complete mess. So I try and keep all my litter in there, especially when you open a gel and that little bit at the top, you don't know where to put it, and you put it in the thing and you may pull something out, it may drop on the trail, things like that. And really important to keep the litter off those trails. So that's good. More stuff I'm wearing. Got to take some waterproof trousers. These are Montane minimus trousers, as you can see, nice and lightweight, really good, easy to take. And now the jacket I'm going to wear, probably because of the weather, it doesn't look like it's going to rain. I have got a more heavy Montane jacket, which is kind of for all day, just won't get you wet. It's a Pertex, it's a Gore-Tex one, and this is a Pertex one, so this is more lightweight. If you're out on the mountains and you wear that and it's really raining, that's not going to keep you dry at all, even though it's a 20,000 whatever hydrostat. It just won't, and you're sweating obviously from the inside out. So I would recommend, if the weather is looking slightly dodgy, is to take a proper really good jacket, and you won't regret it, because if you're out on the mountains for 8-9 hours, you need something to keep you waterproof and warm, of course. Talking about that then, jacket wise, you've been told to take a fleece. I don't have a fleece. I'm going to speak to the organisers to see if I'm allowed to take like a base layer, thermal base layer, but I have just bought a Primaloft Montane, it's really nice jacket, Icarus jacket. I have not taken it out of the packaging yet because I may send it back if I don't need it, but it's really nice, and I'm not sure how small it folds up. It looks quite big, so it's probably not ideal for this type of race. However, I'm going to take it with me and see what I need to do on that front. But I've got two choices there. Because the weather's good, that doesn't look likely, but if it was really wet and cold, I'd probably take that and get that in a pack. You can probably squash it right down and get the air out of it. Obviously take a mask for COVID, got a buff as well. Probably take 2 buffs, one around the wrist and then one just to mop my brow as I sweat. Right, here we go. Okay, something which you always have to take a survival blanket. These are a little bit more important. This is called a Bivvy, a little emergency Bivvy, and it basically, you can get inside it and it will keep you warm throughout the night. Have a look at it. I don't want to open it right up because you probably won't get it back in the bag, but it's like a thermal sleeping bag really, and it's excellent. And that will save your life, because if you do break an ankle, anything like that, and you're on your own, you're waiting for support to come, you go into shock, could be hypothermic, things like that, and this will really save your bacon. I take one of these pretty much everywhere I go when I'm running and stuff like that, any trails and stuff like that. They're much better than those survival blankets. I think the only good thing about those survival blankets is after the London Marathon, maybe, something like that, not really for mountains. So that is an imperative bit of equipment you're told to take. So, and that's from Sol. They're very inexpensive as well, not expensive at all. Okay, so we're getting there. Right, maps and compass. You need a compass. It's self-navigation. Now, as I said, I've cheated a bit. That's not a cheat, but you can obviously take your Suunto. I've got a Suunto 9 here, and I've just worked out, I've studied the route in detail. You get these maps. These are called Ultra maps from Harvey. It's an Ultra XT40. You can see that there. Really good. I'm going to check my camera's on, just because yep, that's all good. We're still going, we're still filming. Yeah, so tiny little maps, and they're waterproof, and they're bloody brilliant. Got loads of detail. There it is. There's the map. Look at those contours. Fantastic, it really is. And I've studied that, and I'm going to put little markers on my map as well, where I'm going to be. There's about 6 checkpoints, and you come off where you start off and go up to, I think it's called Load something, I don't know all the names, down to High Street, and then you climb up into Patterdale, and then you go across, up, down, sorry, where is it? So you go across Patterdale, and then you go down all the way, and you go around up to Havelin, which is the highest point, I think it's the second highest in Lake District, and then you climb back to Patterdale, and then you do another climb, and then across and over. So it's pretty, as I said, pretty intense. But I'll mark all that out, study that in detail, and I've also got my little compass as well. So I do know how to use this. I'm not an expert on it, but if I sat down and wasn't racing and I had to find my way, I would. I'm going to rely on my GPX, but the problem with GPX is in the mountains, it might take you to the left and there could be a drop and things like that. So you've got to be so careful. Anyway, that's all good. Charged up watch will be good. As I said, I'm going to be taking my mobile phone, this brick of a thing. I'd like to have a smaller one if possible, but for this race I'm just going to take my brick, take some nice photos as well, hopefully. Right, so what else we got? Yeah, very important, first aid kit. Always have a first aid kit. I generally take one anyway with me most of the time. This has got a few more bits in it. I've got a couple of hand warmers in there. I've got some painkillers in there. I've got some anti-back. I've got a bandage. I've got some safety pins, and obviously some other bits and pieces. There is another survival blanket in there as well, just a small one just in case. Just remember as well, when you're out on the mountains, there might be someone else in trouble. And that's one of the reasons why you take these. I am a first aider as well, though I've had no experience in it. I've never had turned up at a place where I've needed to give first aid, so I'm very nervous if I had to do that. But I know the basics, and that could save someone's life and help them out, especially with the blanket. You always share your stuff anyway, don't you? So the last time I did the lakes in the day, we had to strip I was running with this girl, and we had to take her jacket off and stuff like that. She was soaking wet. The lady with me gave her thermal jumper. They changed her, put her in that, and then sent her back down the mountain. It probably could have saved her life because she got hypothermic. Waterproof gloves, really important. Got to get good ones. These are expensive ones. I got these in Snowdonia, so they'll keep my hands reasonably dry and warm. Problem is your hands get sweaty, don't they? So take your gloves as well. Okay, so we're getting there. Let me have a quick swig of my beer. Lovely. Right, nutrition. Haven't quite bagged it all up yet, but I'm definitely going to be looking at my salt intake. I've struggled with that a bit. I haven't really paid much attention to salt. I've been thinking about calories, how many carbohydrates, that sort of stuff, and I think one of the problems I have when I do these races, I don't take in enough salt. Salt helps you hydrate. The MDS showed you that. You took your salt tablets, you hydrated. I had no problems at all. So I've gone to Precision Hydration. You probably heard about them. They did loads of marketing. I've got sweat salt capsules. You've got a big old pack of that. They're just, you pour them in water. Have one of them in the morning straight away. Could have one in the evening as well before the race. You get some of these are little tablets, so that you can, effervescent ones, you could drop a couple in your drink, in your bottles, or you can use the powders here. So I'm going to be doing that as a mix as well, because on the other side of things, I'm going to be using some mountain fuel. Over here, I'll come out the camera. Got funky new bags. Love mountain fuel stuff. It's really good. These are energy drinks. Again, pour them in your bottle, and that will give you a good hour of electrolytes, helping with fatigue, and that will probably cover you with salt as well. So I'm going to do a little bit of a mix. I've also got some gels. These are some Ultra Cheer gels, or chai gels. I don't know how you'd say that. Probably chai, I would have thought. And that's got, 60 grams gel delivering 20 grams of carbs. So they'll be really good. Mixing it up a little bit. I've also got loads of Spring Energy bars from leftover from the races I didn't get to do. They're a bit out of date, but I've been using them still and they're fine. And I'll be running with those as well. Just really important, getting my 300 to 400 calories in if I can. Keep an eye on the water, making sure you're drinking at least a litre an hour, with your salt as well. Shouldn't have a problem at all. Solid foods, will I take anything with me? I might take some peanuts and things like that, just to give myself a bit of a break in what I'm eating and stuff like that. But as always, mixing it up pretty much all the time. You're going to get sick of what you've got, unless you're really disciplined, and that's what you've got to be when you're doing one of these races. Yeah, so that is pretty much everything I'm going to be taking, and somehow get it all in my bag. Fortunately, I've got the Salamon 12, which basically gives you a lot more storage space for something like this. So the only real issue then I've got to think about is my jacket and what I'm going to do. So that's everything, guys. That's what I'm going to be taking for this mountain race. I'm really excited. It's the third time I've been up in the Lake District. It's the most beautiful, wonderful place. The scenery is amazing, and I'm very excited about that. and I'm going to go up in my van, as I said, drive up there. It's about a 5-hour drive non-stop, so it'll probably take me 6 hours. Leave early Friday, get up there, going to camp in my van. It's just about big enough to stretch it out. I'm going to take my GoPro with me, of course. I didn't show you that, but I'm going to take my batteries and things like that, so I'll take you along the way. So look forward to editing that and posting that when I get home. And yeah, there we go. Probably I have an announcement to make, is that I've got 1,000 subscribers. So at the beginning when I recorded this video, I had 994. I've now got 1,000. So it's amazing. And I'll probably do another post to thank everyone on that. But I've done 1,000 subs. Really, really happy. And yeah, that's it. So thank you for subscribing. Thank you for watching it to the end if you have. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Love hearing from you. Leave all your comments below. Smash that like button. And I'll see you in the next video.